Spenser Confidential was directed by Peter Berg and stars Mark Wahlberg and Winston Duke. After two Boston police officers are killed, an ex-cop and his roommate take matters into their own hands and search for the criminals behind the murders. Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg have been working together for quite some time now. In fact, Mark Wahlberg has starred in Peter Berg's last 5 films, beginning with Lone Survivor and now Spenser Confidential. And in the film, Mark Wahlberg plays a character that he's never played before, a cop. Like, we've never seen Mark Wahlberg ever play a cop before. Very unique. Yeah, nothing I've seen before in my life. Just completely out of the ordinary for Mark Wahlberg. Something that I did not imagine he would ever do. Play a cop character. Now it's time for me to be serious. I did really enjoy Spenser Confidential. I know this movie did not get the best of reviews, but I had a great time watching this movie. And that's all I really have to say. Nothing more than that. This movie is not one of Peter Berg's best, but it is a film that you can just watch, enjoy, maybe forget about it after you watch it, but it's still a fun time while it's here on Netflix. The star next to Mark Wahlberg is Winston Duke, and their chemistry is excellent in the movie. Both are very charismatic. I would not mind seeing a sequel to this film just so we could see these two together on the screen once again. Both also have very similar personalities and character traits. They're very alike in the movie. Both are former prisoners and they are also fond of boxing, so they share a lot in common. And also, they're very funny in the movie. A lot of other people did not think so, but I did. In general, Spenser Confidential is a movie just here for our pure entertainment. And while it's not one of Peter Berg's best movies, it's one of his more entertaining movies. And that has a lot to do with some fight scenes that we get in the film that, while they are over the top and ridiculous sometimes, they're still really fun to watch. And we get a lot of these fight sequences in the film. My favorite of them all was probably this fight scene that happens inside a Mexican restaurant. These guys are trying to kill Mark Wahlberg with machetes, and he's just throwing them through the glass countertop, and there's a car that drives through the window. All of it is insanity, but I ate it up. It's also refreshing to see Peter Berg step away from what he's been more comfortable with in the last couple of years. Every single Mark Wahlberg movie he's done before were all very gritty and serious. Most of them were based on true life events, but this movie is completely different. It's more light and veers towards a comedy tone instead of a gritty, serious tone. If I'm handed an opportunity to see Mark Wahlberg in another comedy movie that still has those action-y vibes to it, I'm not going to pass up that opportunity. I will watch that movie. And this is the kind of movie we get with Spenser Confidential, and that's why I like it. But I do wish there was more comedic dialogue thrown in the movie. You'd imagine a film that's said to be a comedy would have a lot of funny lines in here, but there isn't that much as what you would expect. That was a little bit disappointing for me. Something else that bothered me about Spenser Confidential, though, was how usually in films like these, where you have an ex-cop take on a job that he probably shouldn't take on, but does because he has a reason for that. They always have a reason in movies like these. But in Spenser Confidential, Mark Wahlberg's character never has a reason to get involved in solving this crime case, other than the fact that he knew one of the cops that was killed and that he is a nice person. He even has a line in this movie where he says, because it's the right thing to do. Winston Duke does not even have a solid reason to get involved in solving this case, other than the fact that he is a nice guy. So I think it would have helped this movie improve had they decided to give these characters more solid reasons for getting involved in this murder mystery. And as you'd imagine for a police crime mystery, the film does go down similar routes to what we've seen before with films exactly like this. I'm not going to give it away, but it does feel all too similar. And it gets extremely convoluted because it tries being unique, but we all know what you're actually doing. Peter Berg was trying to pull a fast one on us, but it did not work. I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, though. This movie did bring me back to some older films that I enjoyed a lot in the past, such as The Fighter or The Departed. Now, maybe that's because this film does take place in Boston. There's cops, and our main characters like the sport of boxing. Yes, it definitely has to do with those things. But still, I didn't mind it. Seeing things we've seen before in Mark Wahlberg movies is never a bad thing, and I always enjoy having that nostalgic feeling in the pit of my stomach. So Spenser Confidential, it's a solid time. I don't recommend you go out of your way to watch this movie, but if you're bored and looking for something to watch Spenser Confidential. I'm feeling like the right score for Spenser Confidential is a 66% today. Alright, for those of you who also happen to see Spenser Confidential on Netflix, be sure to let me down below in the comment section what your thoughts are of it. Do you think it's one of Peter Berg's best or one of his worst? As always, if you're new to my channel, click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.